guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. First things first, I'm not in the nude. I do have a tank top on, but it is like swampy weather outside today here in Florida. The bra basically came off the second I came home. There may or may not have been like an extra deodorant application. It's just super muggy out today. But today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my favorite palettes as well as some palettes that I kind of neglect. They're just like the sad little puppies that live in the back of the drawer. I'm normally pretty good about decluttering. In fact, I did do a huge palette declutter. I was proud of myself. Lots of people were like, no girl, you did not get rid of enough, but I was pretty proud of what I did get rid of. So unfortunately, there were some other products that I would have liked to mention on the side that I wasn't too crazy about, but I do still have a couple to share with you guys. But overall, I didn't want to be a negative Nancy. I wanted to keep it pretty positive. So first we'll go ahead and talk about the palettes that I absolutely adore. These are ones that are in like constant rotation. First up, I have been using this bad boy every single day. This is from the brand JUVIA'S. You can purchase it online. This is the Nubian 2 palette. I believe this one retails for $27. There are several different editions in this line, but this was the one that caught my eye right away. A lot of the other palettes are extremely colorful. This one does have fun colors as well, but overall there's lots of great colors that you could use every day, whether you're wanting to go with like a subtle look or something really bright and poppin'. On my lids right now, I have some Morocco, Madagascar, and then Ya. This color is incredible. It's like molten liquid metal. Look at that. This is what I have all over my lid. It's absolutely stunning. If you're really into warm shades, you will love Morocco and Madagascar. Both of these are incredible, especially Morocco. I actually have some of that on my crease right now. You can definitely wear it where it's more like amped up and in your face, or you can really blend it out like I did. But look at these colors. They are stunning. The blues and the greens are just as pigmented. The metallics in here, the pigmentation is unreal. They're so smooth and buttery. Like, look at that blue. I don't wear blues too often, but those three shades in the center, I absolutely adore. And at $27 for what, 12 shades, I think that's a pretty good deal. The next palette is probably no surprise. I'm pretty sure this palette was in almost every single beauty blogger's 2016 favorites. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. If you are a warm toned lover, you will love this palette. I can't get enough of it. Clearly, I love this shade. This is the most incredible brow bone shade ever. It's just very, very matte, creamy, just a gorgeous, like, brightening, but very natural brow bone shade. I mean, obviously, I really like that one. Some other favorites in here are Red Ochre, Real Gar, Burnt Orange, Raw Sienna, Golden Ochre. Basically, those shades, what am I talking about? Every shade in here is absolutely incredible. You do get some kick up when you put your brush in it, but these shades blend beautifully, like totally seamless. They're so pigmented, they're beautiful. I mean, I've been using this shade almost every single day. Whenever I go in with another palette, I pretty much always use this one as my brow bone shade. That's why I've hit pan in this, but you only need the tiniest bit, so I feel like this palette would last you a while. My only kind of like about this palette is the fact that it's this like fuzzy material, so it just looks dirty. I hate that. I try to use a Tide to Go pen on it. It kind of lightened up the stain a bit, but it still looks pretty crusty. But either way, I love what's inside. So if you're ever in Sephora like with a gift card or just some extra money and you're looking for a palette and you love warm shades, this one, you can't go wrong. It's absolutely stunning. It's the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. I believe the packaging now is like plastic, or is that the contour kit? I feel like the eyeshadow palette maybe as well. I've had mine for forever though. It does come with a mirror on one side, and here are the shades. They are all matte, super pigmented. They blend like a dream. I love them. I feel like no matter what your skin tone is, no matter what eyeshadow shades you like, whether you like warm, neutral, cool, you can find the shade that you need in this palette. This is a great palette to work with other palettes too. For instance, if you got that Nubian palette and you still just wanted something, or let's just say like a very colorful palette in general, and you were looking for another palette to kind of work with for good transition shades, brow bone shades, like a black or a dark brown to use as your liner, this is it. I absolutely love this. I definitely feel like this is a must-have because no matter what other palette you have in your collection, this is a palette that will work with it. Anytime I travel, I pretty much always pack this one because it's just such a useful palette. The colors are incredible. This is another one that I would highly, highly recommend. The next palette I've had for years now, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of neglected it for 2 or 3 months, and then every time I pull it out, I'm like, why did I ever stop using you? It's such a gorgeous palette. If you're getting married soon, I think this would make an excellent bridal palette. This is the Laura Mercier. The name isn't on it. I think it's the artist. I just don't know if it's volume 1 or 2. I think it's one, I'm pretty sure. It's the one that has the pebbled packaging. I think this was actually limited edition for a while, but then they brought it back out. Inside you have these gorgeous neutral plummy shades. You have some really nice natural shades down here as well. This color here, Vanilla Nuts, is so smooth, and I mean the name Vanilla Nuts, like what? This is another great brow bone shade. I also love the shade Truffle. I put a dent into, is that Cur Royal? I've had this palette for I don't even know how many years now. The formula of these shadows, they're so silky smooth. I absolutely adore them. As I mentioned, if you're an upcoming bride, I think this would be an excellent palette for your wedding day, or even if you're just in an office setting, because you can create so many looks with this, whether you're wanting to do something very like everyday neutral. If you're going out at night, you could definitely just deepen up the crease with some of these shades. Even the shimmery colors perform beautifully. Everyday or special occasion palette. Another one you really can't go wrong with. That's what's in this video. Next up, I have the Violet Voss Holy Grail palette. I love this. They had released this once and it was like an all black packaging, and then they went through, and I don't know if they reformulated every single shadow or just several of them. I thought that first palette was good, honestly. I know it kind of had mixed reviews. Personally, I loved it, but ever since they revamped some of the shades, you can definitely feel how some of the metallics are a lot creamier now. And then let's do a matte. I love Teddy Bear. Look at these. They're so pretty. I love this one as well as the Laura Lee palette, but as you can see, this is another very like warm orangey copper palette. Those are just the shades that I always gravitate towards, but I love this because you not only have some great transition shades, but you have some awesome lid colors as well, and they included a good matte brow bone shade. Okay, this was an old faithful palette. You can see how beat up this guy is. This is the original Lorac Pro. Landon actually stepped on this when he was probably like 3, so the mirror is cracked. But I mean, look at these shadows. Clearly, I got a ton of use out of this palette. I'm almost embarrassed to show you guys because it's so dirty, but this was like probably one of my favorite palettes. I preferred this over the Urban Decay Naked palette, which I'm sure some of you guys are like cringing, but I don't know. I just prefer this because a lot of the shades in the Naked palette were shimmery, whereas this one you have an entire top row that's full of mattes and then kind of coordinating shimmer shades on the bottom. So this was another palette where you could really mix and match. You like office makeup or go in and create like a dramatic clubbing look. I love that I say that like I know what clubbing makeup is because I never go to the club. That sounds weird to even say that word, but you know what I mean. Like if you're going out to like a bachelorette party, you could go in with something like sexy, sultry, and smoky. Or let's say you're having lunch with a boss, meeting the boyfriend's mom, you want to keep it more easy breezy, then you just kind of stay over to this side and you have more your like classy colors. So this is such a great palette. Another formula that just blends seamlessly. They're just so pretty. Okay, now moving on to the shadows that I wasn't really that impressed with. Like I said, nothing against these palettes. If they happen to be your holy grail, that's awesome. I'm super happy that they worked out for you. But either it was the pigmentation, the quality, the layout. Okay, first things first, the Urban Decay Vice palettes. When I first started getting into makeup and Urban Decay started releasing the Vice palettes, I was like, oh my gosh, I need those in my life. And when I first got them, I absolutely adored them. I thought they were everything. But as I've kind of grown my collection and played with more eyeshadows, I've realized the shadows in here, the quality is just not the same. You know, for instance, some of the Too Faced shadows. I love a lot of Too Faced eyeshadow palettes, but then the holiday ones come out and it's like they're totally different. They're crumbly, they're not pigmented, and that was kind of the case with this Vice too. In fact, in my declutter bin that I let friends go through when they come over, there's 2 Vice palettes in there and nobody ever takes them because I mean, the color selection is just kind of weird, and honestly, a lot of the shimmer shades in here are chunky. They're not smooth. They don't apply on the eye the best. They're just patchy, and I don't know. These honestly aren't worth it to me. Now, if you happen to be a huge Urban Decay collector, then I totally get it because I mean, it's more of like a collector's piece almost. I love that the mirror like pops up and glides like this. It is like travel friendly because of that. But the colors, the quality, I'm just not a fan. I don't think I would ever spend money on another Vice palette. Okay, next up I have 2 from Too Faced, which I feel really bad about because I really do like Too Faced products. I love the chocolate bar palette. I love the semi-sweet chocolate bar palette, but these 2 just were not in it to win it for me. I know so many people adore the Sweet Peach palette. I don't know if I just got a bad one or what. I've tried this probably 5 or 6 times. Every now and then I'll see a tutorial or an Instagram post. I'm like, oh, that looks so pretty. Let me go ahead and try it. And I swear the shades just kind of blend into each other. They end up looking muddy and they just don't look good on my skin tone. It's really weird. I just can't get them to work for me. So I have a friend who's interested in it, so I'm probably going to give it to her, but I don't know. This one just did not perform well on my face. Like I said, the first couple times I'm like, maybe I'm just having a bad makeup day. So I went back in, cleaned all my brushes, tried it again, and I just did not like it. And honestly, the Sweet Peach smell, I do not like. I do love the Sweet Peach face palette. I don't like the smell of it. Luckily, it like kind of fades, but to me this is a very like stickingly sweet, like ugh. I had some of the glosses and I had to give them away because the smell was just too much. So sadly this one just didn't work out for me. And then the very final palette I have here is the Bonbons palette, or chocolate bonbons. I loved the chocolate bar and the semi-sweet, but this one just did not work for me. I don't know, like a lot of the mattes were very patchy and dry. The colors are okay. The shade here, Cotton Candy, is such a cute baby pink, but this basically like blew off on my lid. I mean, if I had my fan on, it's like the pigmentation just blew away. I tried with multiple different brushes. I tried applying it with my finger and I just couldn't get it to work. So this was just another one that I really didn't think was worth the money because not all the shadows performed that great. So those are just some palettes that I would skip out on, as well as some palettes that I absolutely adore. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!